I'm here, Dawn. Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Fantastic. Take it away.
And you can also see my share, I assume.
Yes, yes. Screen is looking good.
Excellent. Just 1 second. Getting everything ready here. All right. And making sure my keyboard works. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to this ACM. Actually, we could call it launch day presentation. It is just we still have to have written confirmation by our CEO, who's probably working overtime and probably hasn't slept last night, I would assume. But sometime today, probably before midnight here, Eastern Standard, over in the US, where I am in Florida, we should receive the details of the launch, which happens today. And many people here have been very patiently excited since weeks already for this very special day. So I try to keep the presentation short because there will probably be a lot of questions and answers regarding or around the launch. So for the new guests, just so you know, usually it's maybe a little bit longer. I try to be really very brief, but it should be really still be good enough for you to get a very good first impression. So again, what are we doing here? What are the requirements for a successful company that is, as I said, launching today? Perfect timing, perfect products, and a perfect business model are three of the very key components. And we think the timing is excellent given the financial global dynamics that we find ourselves in, no matter where you live. With gold and silver, we believe we have the perfect product, or actually, in our case, it's rather a service, really, and the perfect business model you will learn about in a minute. So, what are statements from experts that most of you should be familiar with, no matter where you live? Dr. Ron Paul is a longtime US congressman. He was a several time presidential candidate for the US presidency. And his statement was inflation is a very simple concept to understand. More money equals less value. It may seem contradictory, but it's very straightforward. And I think we are in times right now where even though inflation was maybe a little bit a strange concept for a lot of people, it becomes very clear these days when you just go about your regular things like grocery shopping and you realize less and less is what you get for the same amount often. The only thing that does not increase in an inflationary environment are usually the wages or the income that people make. At least that accounts for the masses. Maybe not so for the gazillionaires that were benefiting from the post-COVID phase that we also all have experienced globally. So another person that is probably people are familiar with that are into financial education or are entrepreneurial spirited or into self improvement is Robert Kiyosaki. He is a world-renowned best-selling financial author that has authored dozens of books. They have been translated in dozens of different languages. And his one key statement was silver may be the best possible way to build wealth. And both of these statements are over 20 years old, probably, but they apply maybe even more so now in 2024 than they did in the past. So why, again, is this timely that we are looking here at precious metals and launching a company with an excellent business model? The global uncertainty that we all experience, again, I mentioned this already, the financial markets, just as a reminder, last year, the bank failures that were happening in record pace, not only in the US, but also over in Europe, second largest bank, Credit Suisse, for example, which was definitely a head scratcher for a lot of people. So again, inflation is real and it is very bad right now these days. We have all the various bubbles, the housing bubbles and all of that. People notice this more and more, no matter where they live. All the financial, let's say, structures were embedded in there, just not sustainable anymore with this old fiat system. The central banks are printing money at rates that are unprecedented, especially in the last 1, 2, 3 years. Paper currency is going digital. The BRICS countries stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. They are already, since quite a while, working on a parallel system to the US dollar hegemony that we all have experienced since the Second World War. In the US in particular, they introduced the so-called FedNow system last year. And on an international level, the IMF, International Monetary Fund, or the Bank of International Settlement, BIS, they are working very fast in trying to push down governments or people's throats this CBDC, that stands for Central Banking Digital Currency concept, which is programmable money. In other words, they're trying to get absolute total 100% over every aspect of your life that has to do with any financial transaction whatsoever. So the lasting effects of COVID, as I mentioned, the last 3 years, and the supply chain problems that stem from that, which we still have not seen all the outcomes of it, are contributing to this global uncertainty time that we're in. And the inflation are handcuffing global markets on all kinds of levels. So all of these points here are not opinions, they are facts that can be really easily verified, irregardless of what your political orientation is, what nation you find yourself in, and what religious belief systems you might hold. So why precious metals? It's real tangible value that you can hold. It's time tested. Silver and gold coins are since thousands of years have been used as value exchange systems. And in fact, some people might not know, it's actually the only in the United States Constitution, it's the only legal tender. It's not the Federal Reserve System, when you really go and research that is legal tender. And there's more and more states as we speak that are making gold and silver a legal tender again, officially in their states at least, right? In parallel to the Federal Reserve System. So gold and silver are also a hedge against inflation. It's very easily explainable as a product or service. You don't have to explain anything. When you just mention gold or silver, just those two words alone, people know exactly what you're talking about. Gold and silver or precious metals are relatively stable during these uncertain times that we are in, and they're best products to be garage qualified with. So what is our business model? We have developed relationships with the largest market makers in bullion, in silver and gold bullion, and numismatic coins. And when I say we, I mean, I'm not corporate, I'm just an affiliate like all of us, or most of us here on the call, if you're not a guest. I'm talking obviously about the corporate. So our CEO, Justin Davis, has been very successfully run a similar business model like this already over 15 years ago for 5 years in a row, and has transacted more than $1 billion worth of gold and silver. So that's why he has these relationships with the largest market makers, and there is doors open to him for this business model that is not easy to get opened by any kind of regular dealer. So we also own all of our own network marketing software in-house, which is nowadays, when you have a global business and an online business, is very important. You're not dependent on a third party, which I'm very excited about. And we sell precious metal bullion at cost to customers. What does at cost mean? It's literally below wholesale. It's the cheapest that you can obtain bullion anywhere on the planet. There is no other dealer that you will find, and you can go and do price comparison, that sells gold and silver bullion cheaper than the rates that you can get it through us. Because again, in our business model, we don't make any markup on where the gold and silver is sourced. So the affiliates are basically being paid for finding customers. We are like a gold and silver Costco or Sam's Club. It's basically a membership model. You pay a yearly membership, or we have also an 18-month membership, and then you can purchase as little or as many gold and silver bullion at cost as you like during the time of your membership. So our business model is set up to manage and anticipate growth. We probably will grow very fast because of the strength of this business model, because word gets around fast in all kinds of areas. And you can imagine there is many millions of people that buy gold and silver on a regular basis. Imagine they find out about this business model, and there is now a place where they can get basically their product that they purchase on a regular basis cheaper than anywhere else. So the business model obviously has to make sense for all of our customers, for all of us affiliates or promoters, if you will, and the company itself. So again, the company is brand new, but like I mentioned, extremely seasoned ownership and management by our CEO and also his partner. We're offering true actual at cost pricing on precious metal bullion, but we also have valuable numismatic coins that fuel our residuals in the compensation plan, which we'll learn about in a minute. And yes, it's a very lucrative compensation plan. So what are the products that we offer? You can get basically anything that has to do with coins or bullion in the precious metal arena, just for less than anywhere else. The American Eagles, Buffaloes, Morgans. For the Canadian side, the Maple Leafs in South Africa or in Africa, the Krugerrand, which are very popular. Then we have all the generic bars and coins like the Engelhard, Johnson Matthey, and everything basically that you can think of. How does the pricing compare? Well, the big deal is dealer direct versus at cost. What does that mean? When you buy from a dealer, it just means dealer direct. The dealer can put any kind of markup up there, and it sounds like a nice dealer direct, but you still pay a markup from what the dealer purchases, the price that the dealer purchases the gold and silver from. In our case, at cost means that the price that the dealer, which would be then us, is exactly the same price that we pass it on to the customer. That's what at cost really means. And we have done a comparison when the Silver Eagle, which is the most commonly purchased coin in the world, was at one point, like a couple of weeks ago, we had our price at 26.48 and compared now with different other companies on that particular day. Of course, the silver and the gold price, they change daily. So when you look at that, similar companies were charging $29 to $31, and big online dealers, probably even compared in different countries, were also charging quite significantly higher amounts. So again, at that one freeze moment in time when we compared ourselves, you could see that we were 12 to 18% cheaper than all the other competition. That, if you purchase in higher amounts, can be significant savings, obviously. That's yeah, really relevant. So as soon as somebody finds out about our business model, it should not be too difficult to make that decision to come on board with that membership and benefit from the business model. So what is also at the core of our way of doing gold and silver here is our so-called DAP vault, which stands for digital and physical, which means you can do fractional purchasing of your gold and silver for as little as $1 or $5, but of course also as high as $1 million. It doesn't matter how much you purchase, it all will be at cost. And this is probably very interesting, especially for lower GDP countries, where just even $5 or $10 or $20 worth of gold or silver that they can purchase at that price level, it makes a big difference for them. So it is also tracked very exact to 0.5 zeros here, and then the one of an ounce. So it's absolutely precise how the gold and silver is being measured, and you can track everything in your back office, and you can basically accumulate your precious metal at your own pace whenever you feel like buying again $1, $5, $20, or a couple $100 worth any day, any week, any month, then you can do so. The same goes for selling. You don't have to find a buyer. With the push of a button, the company has a buyback policy, and the buyback is usually less than 2% spread between the selling price and the buyback price. That is also very unusual in the industry. So all the metal that you purchase is not held in an ACM vault. The vault company is actually the fourth largest company on the planet running vaults, and they are in many different countries. We will find out shortly after launch which this vault company is and in how many different countries they have vaults. There is government storing billions of dollars worth of gold and silver with this vault company, so you are in good hands. That also means that your gold and silver you purchase is yours. It's stored in that vault company. It has nothing to do anymore with at cost metal at that point. It's equivalent if you walk into Costco, let's say, with your membership club card and you purchase your groceries. Once you bring them home, they are yours. It has nothing to do after you purchase them with Costco anymore. Did I say Cogeco? I think Costco. Sorry if I mispronounced it the first time. So just to kind of do the analogy, and that's how powerful this is, this vault system. But of course, you can also anytime ship your precious metal to take possession yourself, or a fraction of it or all of it after you vaulted it maybe first, and for whatever reason you want to have it shipped home. And by the way, the shipping is also at cost. In other words, at cost metal doesn't make a cent on the shipping costs. It's just the regular shipping prices for shipping precious metal around and shipping it to your home. It's fully insured and all that. So again, why would you decide to vault? Well, it's the most economical way to service for us as a company, service the customers. And again, we have the highest ranked and rated vaulting company that we're dealing with. As I mentioned, they're multinational. So just to basically use some of the features at the bottom here, there are strict inventory controls. Real-time reporting is available 24/7. You know exactly where, how much, and what your gold and silver is doing. And if you decide to ship it, there is very expedient processing of the shipments of your gold and silver to your home. Everything is fully insured, the vaulting itself, and also the delivery process until you receive it in your own hands or at your home. There's international delivery. We will launch in hundreds of, or over 100 countries at least. So we will find out shortly after launch exactly which countries we deliver. And when we deliver, then it does not matter if there is already a hub in your country or a vault. There are already preset custom clearance structures in place. So delivery, if we deliver in your country, will be very nice and smooth, and again, fully insured. So nothing to be worried about. So the cost of vaulting is also the lowest if you compare it with others. Of course, you pay, let's say, per the value that you have in the vault. It's only fair that people, let's say, store millions of dollars worth of gold, that they pay a little bit more service fee than somebody that has just a couple $100 of gold. That's probably understood. So again, if this all makes sense to you, then let's talk about the packages and the compensation plan. So we have two main membership packages. The most valuable one is our $399 per 18 months Metals Plus package, which gives you for 18 months unlimited at cost pricing of any precious metal you want to purchase, no matter what the amount is, or the value amount of the metal. And you have also access to all of our specialty collectible numismatics coins, for example, or our specialty bullion, and the trading vault that is basically at this package also including 3 MS70 graded numismatic silver coins that are the retail value of those is about $250. So that compares to our other metals package, which is the 149, that is only good for 1 year. So it's basically 50% less that your membership lasts. But other than that, everything stays, of course, the same, unlimited at cost pricing for this entire year. And the trading vault yearly membership is already $199 value in and of itself. So basically both of those memberships are excellent prices. Then we have a $75 get ahead monthly program for people that actually want to take advantage of our affiliate program and refer what we have going on here. These coins are MS70 perfectly graded coins. MS70s is the highest grading in the industry from third-party grading companies, and only 1 out of 1,000 coins, to give an example, makes it to the MS70 status. That's how precious they are. So we have numismatic silver eagle coins, different ones every month, and other similar graded coins will then also be available for that. And then on top of that, we have also specialty bullion, as I mentioned before. We offer a whole variety of specialty bullion, which we'll also find out shortly after the launch, the details of those. So this is our compensation plan. It's basically all on one page, easily explainable. As you can see, the $399 Metals Plus package that is good for 18 months gives your referral, whoever sponsored you, a $50 direct bonus when you join with that package, and it puts also 100 points into the affiliate binary. If you're not familiar with a binary, all it is, you build basically two teams, one on your left side, one on your right side. And a little bit later, we will learn about the binary team cycle matching. So whenever 500 points are on both of your sides here, that always triggers then a $500 cycle bonus. So that's why the points that are attached to either the memberships or the $75 get ahead coin and the specialty bullion, they become very handy when it comes to our second way of commission payout. So the second package is the 149 metals package, gives you half as much bonus for your sponsor than the 399, and a little bit less than a third points into the binary. The $75 get ahead monthly coin is predominantly for people that want to actively take advantage of the affiliate program, to stay active every month and to be able to earn commissions. That is basically the offer. They can also equivalently, if they don't like the monthly coin offer in a given month, they can also just refer someone with either one of the top packages. That basically also makes them stay active. And all the points that the team accumulates in either one of your team legs, right and left, they still keep accumulating. So that $75 coin is puts 20 points in the binary. And then we have, again, a range of specialty bullion that range between 1 and 50 points that also go into the binary. And again, what does that mean with those points in the binary? So whenever 500 points on each side of that binary are matching, just let's say exceeding, of course, that whatever you have on one side that is above 500 points contributes to the next cycle. So whenever 500 are showing up on both sides, then it automatically on a weekly basis triggers a $500 payout cycle for you. And that's the second way how we get compensated on top of the direct bonus. So the third one is a matching bonus, which is 10% on those people that you've personally referred to the affiliate program. Whenever they receive a $500 cycle bonus, you get an additional $50, which is the 10% matching bonus on top of the $500 cycle bonus. However, you have to rank at least as a silver in order to receive the 10% matching bonus, which we will learn in a minute what that means. And our fourth compensation method is the pot of gold bonus, which is basically 50% of the commissions that globally get received in the top account of the binary structure. 50% of that gets paid amongst all the gold ranking affiliates, which we will also learn in a second how to qualify for that. And that is basically equivalent to a weekly residual income. And it's not really that difficult to rank to a gold affiliate. So that's very excited as well. The other 50% of that volume that accumulates in that account is being used for promotions, events, and such. So again, here are our three ranks, very simple. Basic affiliate is someone that just has personally sponsored one person in their left team leg and one person in their right team leg. There is a $2,000 cap on the $500 cycle bonuses that an affiliate, that someone with an affiliate status can receive per week, which is $2,000. So in other words, 4 times per week is the maximum that you can get the $500 cycle bonus. If your binary points would go beyond that, then it would be advisable to rank up to a silver affiliate, which is not that difficult. All you have to do now is to personally have sponsored 3 people on your left leg, as well as 3 people in the right leg. And one of those 3 on each side has to also be an affiliate. In other words, like we just saw above, someone that has personally sponsored, one on the left and one on the right. So for the silver affiliate, 2 things are happening. The one is now you also get the 10% matching bonus on all of your personally sponsored people. And there is a $10,000 cap. So it's 5 times as high as for the affiliate. So that's already basically, if you get close to that, that means a $40,000 monthly cap on your income, which is probably still making most people happy at that stage. But if it's not good enough and your network has maybe grown to even trigger more points in your 2 teams that would go closer beyond the $10,000 weekly cap, then it's maybe time, the latest, to consider to rank up to gold affiliate, which is our highest rank. And again, it's in terms of personally sponsored people, double the effort than a silver affiliate. You have to have 6 people on the left and 6 people on the right, personally sponsored. And you need at least one of those 6 on both sides has to be a silver affiliate on the left and on the right side. So if that constellation is achieved, then you're a gold affiliate. Not only do you get the 10% matching bonus, but also now you are qualified for the weekly pot of gold bonus that I just described before. And we will soon find out what the ballpark range of that pot of gold weekly residual bonus is. And then, of course, also your weekly cap increases now 3 times compared to the silver affiliate to $30,000 a week. So again, the points they can accumulate if you're active, with just to as a reminder, which is achieved in 2 ways. Either you purchase the $75 monthly numismatic MS70 graded coin, or you refer someone with either one of our 2 packages, the 149 or 399 membership package. That makes you stay active for that month. And that means the points that your team generates in both of your legs stay there. And again, 2,000 points is the weekly cap for affiliates, 10,000 points or dollars, rather, the commission for silver, and 30,000 for gold. To repeat it again, at cost means that the price that the dealer pays is the same price that the customers pays, like I said before. Unused points, as I mentioned, after the 500 matching happens, stay intact. So if on one leg you have already more than the additional post the 500 points, they contribute already towards the next 500 matching on both sides. The pay period is Sunday AM to Saturday PM Eastern Standard Time. We also compress the direct 10%, the direct bonus and the 10% matching bonus. If someone is not a qualified for a given month, then the company does not keep the commissions to themselves. They just pass it on to the next qualified people, sponsor or sponsor of the sponsor, or just somebody up that is a qualified affiliate or member for that month, in case this situation might be happening. And then there's a 75% hard cap on the commissions to ensure that the company stays open. The leadership in the field, like us affiliates, we have input on the direction of the company. I like the fact that our CEO, Justin Davis, points out that this is not his company, it's our company. Each one of us out in the field, the affiliates, especially those that are really the driving force behind the global expansion of this, he wants that we all can have an input in which direction, things are going, which is very good to know. So the bottom line is we share a better way to do precious metals than it has been done traditionally, we believe, and we have the best bullion prices and affiliate program. And we want you basically part of it if what you heard sounds good to you. So just disclosures here. There are, of course, no guarantees whatsoever. All the numbers that I pointed out there before, everything depends on you, of course, as an affiliate, like anywhere else in life or in other businesses. It depends on your skills, your personal efforts, and so on. And I would also say it can really also depend on the efforts of your team. So that's why we work together as a team, and we want everyone to exceed. That is just kind of on most teams here how we operate. So it's the success is not just like on your shoulders alone. You have support here because people want to see you succeed with this. Okay, that was the presentation part. I stop screen sharing here now, and then we can actually, I hand it over to Andy, and we go from there. Thank you for listening, and sorry that I was a little bit longer than I expected. Over to you, Andy.
That was excellent, Uwe. And actually very good timing. So we're at a very exciting time, of course. And nobody needs to panic because it's launch day, right? You just all information will be given to you shortly as and of course we'll have questions and answers shortly. But what I want to ask now is I'm going to ask a couple of people to just say why they got involved and joined in this opportunity. I got introduced by Uwe. Had the pleasure of meeting the CEO and founder and ask him some questions because my background is MLM, and so therefore I had some questions. He answered them extremely well, and I was very happy. And really, there's no risk, I mean, there's just no risk because the worst that can happen is you end up with some gold and silver. So, okay, so let's go to Harold. Are you there, Harold?
It's actually Maureen.
Oh, it's Maureen, sorry.
Yes, it's Maureen here.
Okay,
yes.
Maureen,
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, he's there. Sorry.
I'm on the road. I'm on the road.
He's
Sorry.
on the road. He's on the road on his way here. So over to you then, Harold.
Okay. Thank you. Well, great presentation, Uwe. And I'd like to say, obviously, I've been involved in gold and silver a couple of years now. Not an expert, but I've got an idea of how it works. And when I saw this, I jumped on with both feet because I understood it. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, I know I'm involved in crypto in some way, but crypto, you can't, is very volatile. This is the best form of, I won't even call it investment, but somewhere you can actually put your, we're trading fake money for real money. And if you ask anybody that understands finance and business and monies, you should have at least 20% of your investment should be in gold and silver. And all I'll say is gold and silver has been there before we become this planet. And when we leave this planet, gold and silver will still be here. It's a safe bet. It's the best thing to have. And all I say is this. Think about this. I mean, you don't have to be an expert, but what we've got is, if you think about it, $75 a month put aside. You put it aside, you're getting quality coins. It's got value. And you can build a nest egg. And if you feel that you got a challenge financially, you can sell it back and get back. So it's a great business to have, and it works with anything. So what I'll say to you, I'm really excited. I can't wait for this launch. So this is something really good, and it's something we all need. Yeah. So thanks for that.
Thanks, Harold. And so, Maureen, you say it. Maureen? Where's Maureen gone?
Sorry, yes, Andy. Yes, I'm here as well. Yes, I mean it is what we call it a no-brainer, because everybody knows gold and silver has got that actual value that what we call money doesn't have. I mean, I don't know anything about building with what do you call it? What's it called when you have two sides? I was going to say bipolar. But I don't know anything about building binary. But I can open my mouth and tell people, and they will join for sure, because they're just like me. They were looking for something to be able to put your money in, to be able to secure your financial legacy. And this really is a fantastic opportunity, not just for those who want to save and be able to take part in investing with gold and silver, but for those who also want to build a business. it's even, as I said, I'm not a networker, but it's even easy enough for me to understand. So all you have to do is open your mouth, tell people, they'll be biting your hand off. And I'm so grateful that we've had this presented to us and can't wait to really let it fly. I've got a couple of guests on here tonight, so I know they're going to be getting back to me either later tonight or in the morning, and we'll be all ready to go. So great presentation, and for everybody who's a guest, don't hesitate. This is really the opportunity of a lifetime. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Maureen. And yeah, as I said, you can't really go wrong with it. So even if you just want to be a customer, you can just be a customer, of course. But obviously, if you see a good movie, you tell somebody else and you don't get paid for that. But you get paid in this for telling other people about a good deal. And at cost is a good deal, of course. You can't get a better deal than at cost. I mean, most people know Costco. You have to pay a yearly fee to go and buy a discount. And they sell gold as well. We're a lot cheaper than Costco, I can assure you, because we sell at cost. At Costco, all you get is discount. With us, you get at cost. We've got at cost metals, and we've then got specialty bullion collectible coins that are above cost because they're collectibles and they go up in value as well. And we can collect them monthly, or we can introduce one person a month if you don't want to purchase the coin, which is really nice for people that are, now once you're earning money, of course, you'll want some gold and silver, of course. So with that done, we'll go back to questions and answers. Normally we don't have many questions and answers, but because it's a Sunday and because it's launch date, and I'm sure there's some questions about launch as well. And so, but let's go to guests first. And let's see what guests, if there's any guests in the room that want to ask any questions, you will be able to unmute. Let me just double check. Yeah, you can unmute. You can put your hand up. You can type the question. You can do, if you feel shy or anything. So, anybody got any questions? Hands up. Unmute. You did too good a job, Uwe. No questions. I'm sure there's some questions.
Yeah, but it's nice that people allow maybe guests first to ask some questions, because of course members, I'm sure, have a lot of questions regarding the launch itself, but we still want to give new people here the opportunity, I guess, right?
Okay, Janine and Paul.
Hello there.
Hi,
Yeah, I'm
Janine.
just wondering, like, when things do like really work here, how do you get paid? Like, where do we get the payment? I guess is how I'm asking.
Your payment will be it's a weekly payment, and it runs from Sunday to Saturday, and then whatever your points have flowed up into your binary, or if you've introduced people, or you're a silver or a gold, then all them points are calculated and they will be issued in your back office as dollars. You can then withdraw them in cash to your bank using ACH, or you can withdraw them, I believe, in crypto, which will be USDT, I presume. Obviously, all that will be clarified on the launch email. I would think there'll be quite a lot of information to digest. So, but you're paid, and then you can just withdraw. And also, you can do the same with any gold and silver that you've got in the vault. You can just keep it in the vault, sell. It appears as dollars, and then you can withdraw that as well.
Okay.
There will also be a third party for international people because in the US it's fairly easy with ACH since the company is American. They can connect their bank accounts and withdraw funds, into the bank account. But there will be also a third party international payments payout company be utilized. So people don't have to only have crypto as a withdrawal mechanism. There will also be a third party, a global payout company, and they will probably have different options how you can set yourself up through the mechanisms that they have already established. So we'll find out all these details hopefully sometime before midnight today. If nothing, if there is no last minute technical showstopper, because this is a big deal and they want to make sure that everything is 100% bulletproof, because we will probably have quite high amounts of gold and silver that are being purchased up on launch day. So it needs to be 100% bulletproof. But as soon as we get official documentation and email from corporate or in other shape or form today, then we will and then you
Okay.
will find out the details about that.
Okay. Do we
Well-
also know how it's handled? Is it going to be as currency or is it going to be an asset?
Well, again, like we said, there is that it depends on you. You have options like your commissions are basically paid out in US dollars. They show up in US dollars in your back office, and how you withdraw, if you withdraw it in so-called currency, which is US dollars or euros or whatever it is, or in crypto, that is completely up to you. That's your individual choice that you have.
Yeah, and
Okay.
your gold and silver will be classed as gold and silver. It won't be classed. It'll have a dollar value, but it will be gold and silver. It's a digital and physical vault. It's not just a digital vault. It's
Right.
you own the gold. and the
Much better
silver.
than just having crypto. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Although crypto is good to have as well. So with some earnings, you can get some Bitcoin or whatever. So
Yeah, it
Um,
depends on your crypto.
yeah, true. Absolutely, it depends on your crypto. And I really believe that people are fed up with the crypto scams out there. Crypto's not a scam, but obviously there's just either bad companies or I think people are coming back to reality now. I think there's been that many. So it's really good. Is there any more questions?
Yes, two brief ones. One, it wasn't mentioned, but can you confirm that the commissions can actually be used to purchase metals and not
Correct.
necessarily be withdrawn? That's
Correct.
one.
Correct.
Good. Two, this system is hedging against a collapse of the monetary system, the dollar. And many of us, of course, are outside of the US. Let's say the dollar collapses tomorrow, and we have our gold in the vault. What mechanism is there for us to actually get that at the point in time when we need it in an environment like that?
Well,
Is
you could
there
have the gold and silver delivered to you at any time you want. You could have it transferred into a personal vault if you want to. Although each vault that you get with this, with that cost metals, is a personal vault as well. So Prem's got his hand up, so Prem's an expert in gold and silver, so I'm gonna let Prem take that question. Just unmute, Prem. If that's what you're going to do, answer that question. You may have another question.
No, it's not so much a question, just to add my 2 cents to the question just asked by Seymour, and a lot of people have that on their mind, of course, and that's one of the main reasons why gold and silver is very instinctively and naturally attractive to people, because there's a collapse in confidence and collapse in faith in the man-made monetary systems, which have let us down again and again and again over a number of years. It wasn't so severe because many of us probably don't remember. We were probably children when the last major oil crisis happened in the 70s and the Vietnam War was being fought. And then, you know, ever since then, you've seen a bunch of financial events taking place. And it's only in hindsight that you stop and think like, hang on a minute, there's something wrong here, because like the system is somehow rigged. Someone is playing a game. And every time a group comes out richer than before, and the rest are just being distracted by watching the Super Bowl or whatever other junk that comes out of a consumer society. So, you know, we are finally getting to that point where there is a broad general awakening amongst the rest of the world that old is gold, after all. Our ancestors have been saving it for 5,000 years. You know, our major ancient civilizations were built on trade and the gold that they accumulated through that trade. And there's a lot of evidence that actually, you know, the traditional long-lasting societies are actually inclined towards something that is of real value and reliable rather than just hot air, right? Like, you know, the tech bubble was hot air. People were buying stocks just because others were buying stocks. Same thing is happening even in crypto today. So not all crypto is good crypto. A lot of these are meme coins and just jokes being played on your mind. And yes, you want to make short-term quick money, get into the right meme coin, and you can have 100, 200, 300% return in a short span of time. No problem with that. But if that's what you want to do, then you might as well go play at a casino, right? But if you wanted to think like a responsible parent or grandparent, what is your first way of operating is to basically save a little bit for a rainy day and then keep accumulating it and gather something that is a real asset. The asset cannot lose value overnight. The asset must not be of a type that is washed away by the rain or gets burnt up in a house fire or is somehow suddenly worthless in a short span of time. So gold and silver are the two portable, very convenient, and traditionally known. Somewhere in our DNA, we know gold and silver is good for you. Somewhere deep down, we know that these are real assets, and we're not playing games. We're not playing the speculation game. I mean, you know, couple of hundred years ago, you could have been betting on tulip flower bulbs in Holland, and you could have made a lot of money. And, you know, the modern crypto market to some degree is a little bit like that. There are some good, great cryptos, and they deserve to be where they are, but the rest of it is pure junk. So, you know, back to Seymour, this idea of being outside the US, look, even I'm outside the US. In fact, I'm in one of the BRICS countries, and I wholeheartedly support the BRICS. In hindsight, having looked at history and the way they've behaved, I cannot wait for the US dollar to collapse, to be honest with you, because that time is up. You had your chance, you messed up every single time, and you still maintain your arrogance. Nobody is going to shed a tear if the USA even completely disappears. But then what about our gold in our vaults? What about our value? What about this business model? Well, you see, that collapse is not going to happen suddenly and overnight. Now, I appreciate and I respect that many people here have some kind of a biblical quotation in mind that when Babylon collapses, she will collapse. The whore of the world will collapse within 1 hour. That's how quick the collapse will be. And the merchants of the sea will shout like, oh, she's gone. Babylon is collapsed. She's gone. Babylon is gone, or whatever the exact quote is. I'm not a pastor, so I'm not preaching. But all I'm saying is that don't think of a collapse being as immediately and suddenly catastrophic. Think of it as an event that happens, and you will see the signs leading up to it. Okay. Now, for example, if I was to tell you in 2012 that the European Union should and will collapse, you would have laughed at me. Okay. But how is it going to inevitably collapse? Because they're wasting their resources on funding Ukraine, trying to take on Russia, the bear that actually has oil and gas. And, they're defending their borders from an aggressive, parasitic NATO. And you don't have to agree with my political opinion, but all I'm saying is,
let's not get too much here into geopolitics and all of that.
No.
There's
I'm giving a context.
There's also
the point is that we are getting to a point where the European Union is bankrupt. So the question is the euro going to collapse before the dollar, or is the dollar going to collapse before the euro? But we do know that they're trying to bring in a one world currency to try and control all of us, regardless of what your political opinion is, whether you're on this side or that side or the other side. Doesn't really matter to anyone that controls at the top level. They want to control all the sides, right? So when this collapse event is going to happen, specific to Seymour's question, when this collapse is about to happen, you will have plenty of warnings, you will have plenty of sites, and I would encourage you to join the groups amongst these teams that you're a part of, where these kind of discussions will repeatedly happen. I know Uwe digs out a lot of information, and he constantly posts about the general outlook on where economics is going, where the world, forget politics for the time being, but at least where the world economy is heading. Now, what happens from that is we can only glean sort of indications of approximately when. Do not look at social media and listen to some guy saying March the 15th is going to be because that's the Ides of March, is going to be the major stock market collapse because all Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos and all these people have sold a lot of their personal stock and raised cash. But we also know they've been building underground bunkers worth $100 million each, right? We don't know when they're planning to do this, but it's not going to happen suddenly, and it's not going to have a sudden impact. But in the meantime, I put this to you very simply. What if that global so-called dollar collapse is 12 months away? That gives you 12 months of building a team, building an income, and saving your nest egg. And when the pressure gets too much, nobody's stopping you from taking your wealth, your accumulated value out of the system. Just pull it out when you think it's right for you. Now, if you panic too soon, you might feel like you're losing out. And that's what's called fear of missing out, FOMO, right? Actually, no, FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. You might succumb to it sooner than some others. But I personally think we don't worry about when the collapse is happening. We just need to know that it is definitely happening, and therefore getting your money converted, getting your printed paper converted into something of real value, even more value than Bitcoin, not the price. I'm not talking about the price. You see, if the internet shuts down, Bitcoin is useless. But if the internet shuts down, you can still use your silver coins and buy a week's worth of grocery. So if you put it in context, we don't worry, we don't stress about that apocalyptic type of event whenever that happens. But what we do is we prepare in advance of it, and we put in our heart and soul and work if it fundamentally agrees with the way we operate and with the way we view the world around us. So I hope that's kind of useful. And thanks, Uwe, I'm done.
Thanks, Brent.
Thank you.
Yep, a lot of great insights. And Seymour, I want to also put my feedback into this. So I don't believe that the US dollar will literally collapse in a short amount of time. Like Prem said, that will be a longer term process. And don't forget that China, which is one of the most influential BRICS country participants, owns about 30+% of the Federal Reserve state debt. So it would be against the BRICS countries' interest if the dollar would collapse. There will be a shift in balance of power, in balance of purchasing power of currencies, but even the BRICS countries also have that problem that they are stuck in that fiat system or central banking or private family issued currency system. Really, that's what it is. The Bank of England is not a national currency. It's privately owned. The Federal Reserve in the US is not, a government entity. That's why, remember Congressman Ron Paul that I mentioned before? He was the only United States president that ever wanted to audit the Fed on a political platform spectrum. And for good reason that this never happened, that the Federal Reserve was audited, because then all these shenanigans would basically come into the public. And again, we are in very uncertain times, and that's why gold and silver That's what we're doing is literally, from an American perspective, I put a slide together where I said, why don't you get back on the gold standard yourself? What Nixon has taken the Americans off in 1971. It's your personal decision. You don't have to wait for the government to make that decision for you, especially when you as an individual, right, like Prem said, as a responsible, let's say, parent or you know, member of your relatives around you, when you don't preach anything, you take action. And you can take action here by getting back into God's money. That's what a lot of people, especially religious people, think of gold and silver, because it has been around for such a long time. It is mentioned in the Bible as God's money. And like I said, it's the only legal tender of the United States as per the Constitution. And those factors alone should give you a lot of comfort. And you are in a much better position than a lot of other people, no matter in what kind of a, let's say, phase or time space the currency collapse furthers itself. We are already in an ongoing collapse. I mean, what do you think? What last year, at the beginning of the year, what this was, when many banks just, you know, were failing, including the second largest bank in Switzerland, which should have shaken up a lot of people in Europe. So yes, what we're doing is basically empowering people to do the best self-preservation that they can do, right, with what we're doing. And so it's not just even about you, it's also what you can do for your fellow human beings, right, with the knowledge that you equip yourself with. And it's not hard to swap basically currency into gold and silver and real legal tender. So just wanted to add that.
Okay. Great stuff. No, that's good. As I say, a lot of people worry and stress about what country's going to collapse and whatever. We all know what's going to happen, but none of us know when. So most people on here not too stressed about that at the moment. What most people are stressed about is whether they've got the money to pay for their council tax that's going up in the UK by maximum amount, bills, rent, mortgage, whatever. So please, I've got to shoot out in a minute because I've got to pick my daughter up. But I wanted to get back to people's questions. So so Seymour, I think you had your hand up first. So
thank you, Andy. Two more again. One, is the gold stored in the vault as Seymour's gold?
yes,
It's a Seymour's and not Adcost Metals.
correct.
Gold.
It's your own personal vault.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which means
and you get a safekeeping receipt. I'm trying to answer short.
Yes.
Because, you know, you get your own SKR, which is your safekeeping receipt, which you can actually use if you want to borrow or anything. It's like a bond, basically. And it's physical gold. It's not just a digital vault, it's a physical vault. That's what people are missing. It actually is, you own the metals that are in there. Adcost Metals doesn't own it, you own it. So all them details will be coming out, and you will have to set up your own vault securely, not the company, you. So, okay.
Okay, and with that, we will still have all our assets, all our gold would be fully insured 100%. You did say there'd be insurance, but you didn't say the
Correct.
extent. It's 100%.
Correct.
100% insured, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and even insured against terrorism as well. So, because that's probably the major threat to things anyway. I don't want to get into that, but yes, it's all covered. All them details. There's a big slide which you can just go to Adcost Metals and download, sign in, download, the presentation. Read it properly because there's a lot of information. We can't go through it on the presentation. There's a lot of information about the vault, and it says digital and physical. And if you've got a vault near you, then you can have it put it into the vault near you. It depends what company they're using, but it's the second biggest, I believe, in the world. That's what I think I heard Justin say at one time.
The fourth
So-
biggest one. But
No, I think it's the fourth. I think what I went back and listened to this very carefully. It's the fourth and fifth largest mints that we purchase in the gold from.
okay.
But he said the second largest vault.
That's even better then. And just think
Yeah.
of it like even banks have their own small little vaults, or used to have actually when they used to actually have something of value in their branches and whatnot, right? Nowadays, you have to order if you would need more than, I don't know, $10,000 or $15,000. You can't even walk into a bank anymore and just take
Yeah,
it
and-
because they don't have it, right?
And
So-
and the good thing, sorry, I'm
Mhm.
butting in, sorry, Uwe, because I've got to go. The
Yeah.
good thing is that the if something did happen where you wanted to leave the country quick, right? If you've got physical gold or silver, you're going to have trouble getting through customs. If it's in a vault and digital vault, there's a lot of benefits to that because you don't have to. You can access them anywhere you are in the world. So that's another way of looking at it. Ojo Asigon. Ojo Asigon. You have a question?
Yes, actually, you're one of the few that said my name right. So thank you.
I'm used to it because I used to preach in a lot of African churches. So.
Oh, thank you. And most of your questions, most of my questions, excuse me, were answered in the people that were asking previous questions. And I said, okay, that was one of mine. So I only have two more that I can think of. The first is once we start buying the gold, is
Could
there
you
any-
speak up, please? I'm having trouble hearing you. I don't know whether anybody else is.
It's okay on my side, but yeah, if you want to speak up a little bit, then that works.
Okay, is this a little bit better?
I can hear you fine over here. It's a
Okay, so
quiet, but I can hear fine.
Uwe, you take over the question because I can't hear very well.
I can-
so.
Okay, it's probably your the combo of your connection. I can hear you okay, Ojo. Just keep going to your question.
Okay, would you be able to repeat it then to Andy? In case it's something he wants to answer. My first question is, once we start buying the metals, is there any kind of KYC process that we have to go through?
Yes,
Like-
there. Yep,
Okay.
there is KYC. I don't know the details yet of it because there's different levels of KYC. One could be that you just like upload, let's say, a photo ID, government issued, either a driver's license or passport or something like this, right? Others even go further where you have to show proof of residency with maybe a utility bill or something like this, and then you have to take pictures of yourself with your ID next to you and all that. I don't know what kind of level of KYC, but there is definitely KYC involved, yes, when we launch.
Thank you, thank you. My second question is it possible in the future there will be more metals added to the list besides gold and silver?
We have already palladium and platinum as the two other precious metals right away. That you will see, we will up on launch also have a fully fledged shopping cart, and we have hundreds and hundreds of different coins and bars and all of that. So what you see right now when you go to @cost metals /products is just a small selection, right? Just to get you an idea and where if people want to do already price comparison online, they can do so. But yes, we will have platinum and palladium right away out of from the get-go when we launch.
That's awesome. That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Bye, Andy. Okay.
I appreciate
Oh, that was it? Those two questions?
Yeah, that was it.
One more, Uwe. Is the opportunity open to only individuals, or can companies also participate?
Any legal entity which is let's say family members that are of legal age in their respective countries, which is in most cases 18 years, they can participate. And a legal entity, for example, you can create as many for example, LLCs, limited liability corporations or so that you want, and that includes, of course, also an existing company, is its own legal entity. And so, yes, every legal entity can join. So someone could have a company, they could even create, just for this purpose, an LLC on the fly, right, which can be done online. There's a lot of US states that make it fairly easy online, even if you're not residing in the US, to create an LLC. And then there's, of course, other structures in Europe and in other countries, but it just has to be a legal entity. So you can have as many legal entities as you want. And like I said, includes also family members of legal age. Does that make
Thank you.
sense? Good. Okay, then Lady M, next question.
Hi, Uwe. Just following on from that question, self-employment in the UK means you can be registered as self-employed without creating a legal structure like a limited company. So would you be able to set up a business name without having the legal entity?
Well, I don't know like the details of the legal entity structures in the UK, if they differ from the US, but I would say whatever constitutes a legal entity in any given jurisdiction, no matter which country it is, as long as it's accepted internationally as a legal entity, then it should be perfectly fine to set that up as its own, let's say, account, right, within at Cost Metals. Does that help?
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome. Just checking here if there were any questions in the chat. And again, just shoot away if you have questions, ask away while I'm having a look at the chat here. Yeah, okay. Some people have already also answered questions in there regarding, the legal entities. I think we have, again, I'm not a legal or a tax advisor. So in different countries, you would have to probably also talk with those professionals as to what constitutes then, right, a legal independent entity that you still might control or be in whatever form, basically control or manage. Yeah, so just read in the chat regarding the UK. There is a couple answers from people how that works that are familiar. I'm not familiar at all with the UK legal structure like that. So any more questions? Well, if not, then we anyways, during as the day proceeds, we still have like, what is it, about 10 hours or so left before midnight. And I have not even checked now during our call, but I assume we will get some kind of a notification about more detailed info about the launch. So then we will, of course, pass it on to everyone. And a few things that people that I know that questions came to me, not right now here, but outside of this Zoom in particular, were, for example, regarding the upgrade process. So what I have inquired, and this has been confirmed with our global leader, Antoine McVeigh, that people that are on the $25 package right now, if they need some time on the $25 holding count, if they still need some time to upgrade to either the 149 or the 399, you have definitely at least a week time. So all the points that accumulate from people on your team that might upgrade before you do yourself, they all will count towards you. So you don't have to worry that you might miss out on some people on your team being faster than yourself with basically getting their membership. So that's probably a very important factor for a lot of people. And then for those that are not aware of that, we have 30 days time to upgrade from the 149 package, if that's what people start out with, and they decide they want to take advantage of the 399. So you have basically a 30 days time, which, since we get paid commissions on a weekly basis, you could actually utilize potentially your own commissions to upgrade then from the 149 to 399 within a month. However, from the 25 to the 149, that's probably not enough because there's only like a 1 week grace period. So you would have to maybe see how much commission you would receive and then bridge that, like upgrade first to the 149, and after that you get commissions paid out, and then you could do it that way. So I just wanted to point this out. Was there something else that could be crucial? I think that's probably the most important one. And also, once we get into the monthly coin with the $75 monthly coin that is worth 20 points, you can equivalently also through the commissionable specialty bullion that have point value. If you buy that instead and it exceeds even 20 points, every point that exceeds the 20 will not only account for your, let's say, sponsor and your upline in the tree, but it will also be added to your own team leg, and it will go into the lower value one. So for some people, they might even be close to get the next $500 cycle bonus. And if there's just 10 or 20 points maybe missing, they could even themselves purchase some gold and silver that has point value attached to it and do it that way and bring that level just up to trigger a $500 cycle bonus. So I think that's also very interesting to know. I just found out about that a couple hours ago. Okay, Ojo, go ahead with your question.
Thank you, Uwe. Once more. Interesting question, but can you have more than one vault? Let's say you want to have a vault for gold, you want to have a vault for silver. And my second question is, can the vaults be in more than one name? I'm just asking.
If the vaults can be in more than one name, I'm not sure about that. That's basically the equivalent question if you can have your account in more than one name, because I mean, the vault is directly connected to your account somehow still, right? Like at least the management of that vault, because again, it's a digital vault. So that is something I would have to find out. But as far as this is an important question for me as well, since we deal with a vault company that has vaults in different jurisdictions, and for example, here in the US, they could even have vaults in different states. That is something that I still have to find out myself, because I personally also would like to decentralize my gold and silver holdings in different jurisdictions even, or even here within the US in different states, just for an additional layer of security, right? Because although that's what I wanted to point out before, think when you compare vaults with banks, right? Vaults don't have any daily let's say customer traffic like banks have. Therefore, they can be focusing way more on many levels of security than any bank could ever do. That's another, let's say, reason to swap whatever you might have in banks so far stored, aside from the collapse topic that we talked about, and feel very good about vaulting, which is probably one of the most secure ways how you can protect your own assets, right? In this case, commodities. So I just wanted to point that out as well. So I will find out about your question about storing your gold and silver or precious metals in many different vaults. I hope that that's the case, but right now I don't know 100%. So that's also something that I'm very curious to learn about. And I'm sure shortly after the launch, there will be a lot of questions as precise as this that we will find answers for quickly.
Can I just one more question that just came to mind? Is what
Sure.
you made me think of one more question.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to have a gifting. What I mean by that is, like, sometimes you'll buy something as a gift for somebody else. Is that possible with this company? Let's say you wanted to buy gold and have it as a gift.
Well, I mean, since you can ship the gold from the vault, right? I mean, you have that's also very important, by the way. Thank you for bringing this up. That everybody should go in their profile and make sure that their address is 100% correct. Because you don't want, let's say, if you start with a $3.99 package and you want to have those 3 silver coins shipped to you, you don't want it end up at the neighbor or somewhere down the street. right? So make sure that you double check that everything with your address is 100% correct. And I would assume that if you want to do a gifting, in other words, have somebody else send some gold or silver, that should be possible in principle. But how that technically would be done, because it wouldn't make sense if you would have to change now the address, in the back office. I think that would be an additional technological feature that they say, okay, if you want to have your gold and silver shipped to a different spot than your home address, then there would have to be some mechanism that makes this possible. And that would be ideal then for your gifting idea, right? Other than that, that's something that I probably might do, or that I have thought of already, is you can gift people literally also a membership, right? That's of course a little bit steep for some people, a steeper thing, because now it's not just $25, which goes away probably sometime today. Now we're talking at least $149 that you would gift if you gift somebody an ACM account. Does that help with your gifting question, Ojo?
Actually, it does. It does. And gifting someone an account is actually not a bad idea either. So thank you.
Yeah. Okay. You're welcome. Yeah, and what happens after the launch when it comes to others joining the program? Well, there is a question: when does the launch happen, and what happens once others join? Yeah, well, the moment we launch, the $25 positioning in the binary goes away, and people will have to when they come on board, they will have to join with either the 149 or the 399 membership. So that's why today, right now, if you have people that are on the fence, or if there's people that you can think of, or people that you want to gift maybe a position in this, you can still do it right now for the $25. And this could any hour basically go away, and it switches over to launch time, and post-launch 149 is basically the let's say the lowest package, right, that somebody can join into ACM. Hope that answers that question. How many grams of gold and silver are in the coins? Well, the monthly $75 monthly MS70 coins, they are 1 ounce silver eagle coins, the current ones that we have right now. But again, that will probably change from month to month. There might be different coins that we have. But what I do know is the current $75 MS70 coin is actually from 2023. Because I've seen already pictures from the first ones in a physical event in Dallas, I think 2 days ago or so, where some people already received or purchased this month's specialty $75 coins. Oh yeah, it was answered. Hezron answered that it's 1 ounce. Yes, the address, you can change the address right now. If you go in your back office and you click on your initials at the top right, either if you're on a phone or on a PC, just look for your initials in the top right area somewhere. And when you click on the initials, that's when you open your profile, and that's where you can change your address right now. So, and again, everybody should maybe go there and just double check if everything is correct, specifically, for example, your house number or so. That can be easily done, that maybe the street is correct, but like I said, it goes to your friend a couple of doors down the street instead of to your house. So make sure you check the address that it's correct. Okay, Ojo, do you have another question, or is your hand just still raised? But if you have a question, just shoot away. If not, then I would say if somebody else still has a question, last chance to type it into the chat or just speak up. If not, then I would say we all continue with our Sunday afternoon in my case, or evening in other cases. And again, in the various groups that we have on Telegram or WhatsApp or through other means, I'm sure that you will be notified by somebody if we have some updates about the launch, or you will receive in your email basically updates directly from corporate about the procedure of today's launch, or hopefully This might happen even sometime before midnight. Hopefully they don't have to postpone it into tomorrow if there were some last minute technical issues or whatever. But we'll see. Okay, Harold, do you still have a question?
Yeah, so I know you can change your name. Can you change your username?
The username can be changed in principle, but you can't do it yourself. You would have to go to the chat interface in your back office and ask them to modify your username, because that's a higher level of security.
Yeah.
I guess your email and your username is locked in, because, you know, think about if a hacker could change your username, people would not even know who this might be. And then the email, of course, is even more critical, because that can also recover. There's a password recovery process in Store that sends you, lets you change your password via your email. So those two things, email and username, you would have to go through corporate or through the chat in the back office and, go from there.
Okay. Thank you.
Is that the username as the referral link? Because there is not really, it's not really classed as a username.
That's what I assume that Harold was referring as to
Yeah.
the name.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
basically exactly
Yeah, the referral link. Yeah.
the referral link or the code.
But there's like you said, there's nothing to change that except going through the back office and messaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the email as well, but you can change the name on the account.
You can change your name and your address on the account. Exactly.
And the address, yeah.
Yep.
Would you like me to share my screen and just show people quickly how I've done it? So
Sure. Let me just answer one question. Hazel just typed into the chat. What happens if someone doesn't upgrade from the $25? So I would assume that all that happens is that the points flowed by you. Like, again, there is a grace period of 1 week that people have time to upgrade to the 149. I think if they don't do that within that week, then the points just flow through you. If it's in your binary, if there is points that accumulate from the team as part of your business, and until you might upgrade to the 149. So basically nothing happens, and it's you still are in the binary, and there might be still your team might still grow below you. It's just that you can't receive any commissions, obviously, if you're not a member yet, and the points might just go away until you basically stop the points floating through by getting a membership, and at that moment the points stick and they accumulate until you become commissionable. And again, to point this out, direct commissions from any membership referral gets paid on a weekly basis. There is no prerequisite, but to be binary qualified for that $500 cycle bonus, you have to sponsor at least one personal on your left side and one on the right to be qualified to receive those $500 cycle bonus commissions. Just to point that out again, because that might not be clear for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me. Oh, is it shareable? Okay.
Yeah, we can see your share.
Yeah, so that's for everybody who haven't done this yet. Yeah, so you just log in and you click on your initial, right? And you click on profile, and it takes you. It's slow. So yeah, there's the two. You cannot change your user ID and your email. You can change it by possibly going through here. I don't know if anybody have tried to change it yet. If they're having problems with their email.
You can't choose change that user ID because that's a company internal ID. But the email, if you want to change it, that's exactly what you would do through that interface.
Exactly. Yeah. So just make sure your name is correct there. Make sure your number is correct. It seemed like the problem is solved there, Uwe. It's not coming up with Jersey anymore.
Perfect. Good stuff.
Yeah. So on this page, this is the important page here. see, I've put my full name, and then I put like my son's name, right? So you could put this name 2 as somebody who lives in your household. Therefore, if you're getting a delivery straight to your house, then that person can receive upon delivery because they live in your home address. So, and
No,
basically,
I wouldn't
yeah.
do that.
Hmm?
I wouldn't put a secondary name there, no, because if it's not received, then you've got a problem.
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to. You could leave that out. You could leave that out and click update. But this, everybody have to do this at the moment. Even though you've used your address when you're signing up, you still have to go in and do this over again. So that's all I'm showing. So you don't have to put a secondary name there.
Exactly.
So-
So basically, the company doesn't ship any metal until you have done this exactly.
This, yeah.
Even though it's the second time, that's their double insurance that you really have double checked that there's no mistake. You know, they
Yeah.
want to just prove it up a little bit more to have less issues with typos and things like that, right? Which makes sense.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Thank
So-
you for showing.
So I hope everybody get that and they can go and do it instead of doing people individually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Alright.
again, if we can ship to a different address than our default home address that we have filled out there, that's something we will just have to still find out. I mean, there's many, you know, very detailed questions that we just don't know yet. We don't want to make any assumptions, but there's of course a lot of good questions. And like with every launch, you know, they can only focus on the most important things. Think about it, what they have to cover jurisdictionally to deal with shipping into over 100 countries potentially, right? Something like gold and silver. That is the number one question, and then everything else. And so these kind of minor let's say details, which are of course still important to know, we will find all of that. It will fall into place shortly after launch. And I'm sure soon we will have less and less questions, and there will be a lot of Q&A a section that probably through the chat interface they already built this up, right? Because those questions that get asked from a lot of people, obviously they are important, you know, to put out there. And yeah. Okay. So I would say if there is maybe one last question still, then just ask away, raise your hand, type it in the chat. If not, then I guess I do a countdown, going once, going twice, going 3 times. All right, then I wish everyone a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and we will update you about any launch information as we find out about this. And just look out for your email that you signed up with your ACM account, because you corporate, when they release an email, then you will of course probably have a lot of information in there as well. All right, thanks for joining this Zoom and share your afternoon with us. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and we'll see you. Oh, I should maybe say tomorrow is the next event at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 1 a.m. in UK. That's when Antoine, global leader Antoine McBay, will do his presentation again. All right, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye, everyone.
All right.
Bye-bye.